What is a life hack that seems fake, but is a true lifesaver? Every male should know this. If you want to get rid of an awkward boner, flex any muscle in your body, maybe an arm. For a minute, the blood will rush to that muscle and away from your dong. Crisis averted. Use shaving cream as anti-fog. I used it on the inside of my motorcycle visor. Smear it on, let it dry, then rinse off and dry. It also works for bathroom mirrors. You can use it on a small spot so you can still see when you get out of the shower. If you have funky armpits and need to fix them fast, use hand sanitizer. I figured this out years ago when I remembered that the smell comes from bacteria reactions, which antibacterial hand gel kills stone dead. Instant results, and the medical smell lasts only a minute. Don't do this routinely though, as it's delicate skin and may hurt like heck if you've shaved them and have any nicks. True lifesaver. If you are ever attacked by a dog, push your forearm into the bite. This pries the jaws apart and prevents them from clamping down. If a dog is attacking you, the best thing you can do is offer your forearm. Push as far back as possible, and then grab the dog by the scruff of its neck with your other hand to hold it. The dog is now functionally muzzled and you have control of its head. The sooner and harder you push into the bite, the less damage the bite will do. This is a good rule for human bites too, just so you know. Push and don't pull. You can do the Heimlich maneuver on yourself. Use a chair or countertop. Press yourself against it, right under your ribcage, and press down hard. Should force air up and dislodge a blockage. True facts. I am CPR read certified, and in our classes we were taught this. Our instructor actually said to just drop yourself on the chair rather than press, as the extra force from gravity can be helpful and any injury you might sustain will be better than choking to death. That rubbing alcohol removes chewing gum. I'd go through a 20-layer deep marketing funnel to get to that tip because it really does work. Also, wow. Thank you for all of the awards, nice Redditors. I completely forgot I left this comment and came back and my notifications had blown up. Rubbing alcohol works to get paint off clothes also. Rubbing vegetable oil, or any cooking oil, on your hands after you cut up jalapenos or other hot peppers. It gets rid of the awfulness that would normally be left on your hands from the peppers. I rub my hands with oil and then wash it off with dish soap. I can totally remove my contacts after doing this. It's crazy how well this works. I don't know if I trust advice coming out of Paul Rudd's butthole. Vinegar in a plastic bag with rubber band tied around any faucet will make the faucet like new. I'm talking decade-old rust and stuff gone, and water flows like the first day. Clean jewelry with dish soap. Since other cleaning supplies might scratch it, like hand soap or anything that exfoliates, or chemically react with the metals, usually that's harsh cleaning supplies. And dish soap is intended to clean glass and ceramic without scratching it, and silverware without reacting with the metal, etc. You missed the Dawn thread above. Dawn can regrow hair, charge your phone, and soft boil an egg. Put your onion in the freezer for 10 minutes before chopping it. It freezes the juices just enough to slow down the process of it turning into a gas, giving you a few minutes to chop the onion without tears. I learned this tip from a kids science show years ago and I haven't had to deal with onion tears since. So many people don't believe me, and then are genuinely surprised when it works. I've been a chef for over 15 years. This is good advice. Best advice is using a sharp knife. They slice through the cell walls instead of crushing them. The cheapest, most effective, and safest insecticide against roaches, especially those huge water bug roaches that we have in the south, is a spray bottle of mostly water with just a little liquid dish soap in it. Shake the bottle and get the water a little foamy, then spray the roaches. They will run, scrabble, and attempt escape, of course, but they will die. The soap film suffocates them faster than any chemicals will. A friend told me about this, and I thought she was nuts, but I tried it and it works amazingly well. Plus it's very easy to clean up and safe around food. Not that you want to spray soapy water on your food. You can also use this on wasp nests, especially if sprayed on them right before dawn, since they are not very active. That way they'll be squeaky clean when they return back to their overlord, Satan. If you're in college, don't buy your textbooks until you actually need to use them. I've saved hundreds of dollars by not buying required textbooks that we never used. All your kindling for a fire is wet and all you have is matches and snacks. Any corn chip will light into a ball of flames. $1 of hand sanitizer saved me when free camping in Scotland, but this is good to know too. Run your wrists under cold water or rub an ice cube on your pulse points to cool down all over quickly when you get overheated. It seems obvious, but I didn't realize it until last summer working in a warehouse with no AC. From the amazing book The Gift of Fear by Gavin D. Becker, a woman alone who needs assistance is actually far better off choosing someone and asking for help, as opposed to waiting for an unsolicited approach. The person you choose is nowhere near as likely to bring you hazard as the person who chooses you. I've taught this to my children. If you're lost, find someone before someone finds you. I always tell them to find someone with a name badge on. When putting a paint can lid back on the can, first put down a layer of cling film, saran wrap. This will stop the lid sticking to the can once the paint on the lid has dried. If you're having trouble staying awake in class at a meeting, see how long you can keep one of your feet lifted slightly off the ground. When my dad was young, he often had to drive late at night. He said he would drive while holding a $50 bill out the window in order to focus and stay awake. Eating candied ginger helps with nausea. Any ginger really, but candied ginger is much better tasting. As a ginger, this comment concerned me for a minute. Sleep on big decisions. You think most clearly in the morning, and often after some time passes you realize you were about to make a big mistake. During pollen season, rinse your hair before bed. Otherwise you're just depositing pollen on your pillowcase every night and then rolling your face in it all night. And then multiply that by how many nights you use the same pillowcase. You're a genius. 4 out of the 5 people in my family have super bad allergies. I mean, like, the allergy tests came back with pages of stuff we're allergic to, and long hair. I usually just change my pillow cover every other day during spring, but I'll try this tonight. Got fridge hard butter and you want to bake? Cheese, grate it. It will still be work if you're hand mixing, but it's better than trying to chop it. Microwaves exist, but it sucks when the butter splits. You can also put hot water in a mug, dump it, and then put the mug over the stick of butter. It softens pretty fast that way. If you feel suicidal or depressed, don't focus on hope. It is enough to just stay curious. Curiosity has the power to keep you alive far longer than hope ever will. Curiosity leads to engaging work, and this leads to opportunity. I was in a very dark, very bad place in early 2018, and all that was getting me through it was that I wanted to know how Game of Thrones ended. Exclamation point, you can laugh at that. I do. Counting really slowly with the goal of reaching 150 is a decent way to fall asleep. If you have any thoughts during it, just let them play out. And if you forget what number you're on, just go from what you last remember. If you make any major movements, just start again. The goal is to force your brain into slowing down and not having any jerky motions or thoughts, and eventually reaching such a level of carelessness that you eventually fall asleep without realizing. Helped me quite a few times, especially with rain sounds. Hope it helps some of you too. I try to count backwards from 200. I'm usually out before I reach 100. It gives my brain something to do while my body calms down, but it's boring enough that it makes my mind wander, so eventually I stop counting and fall asleep. If you've written on a dry erase board, or any glossy surface, with a permanent marker, like a Sharpie, just draw over it with a dry erase marker and it will wipe right off. Use whitening toothpaste and a little water with a paper towel to clean stained dry erase boards. It easily removes ink and doesn't spread it around like rubbing alcohol. Works on boards that have been stained for years. Makeup remover on deodorant stains. Vixella randomly brought it up while talking to chat on Twitch. My husband has a lot of t-shirts with white stained armpits, so I gave it a shot. It worked. Oh. Mosquitoes bites be gone. This hack is the most valuable thing I've learned in my whole life. Heat off the back of a spoon with hot water, then apply the back of the spoon to the bite. I usually do it twice for good measure. The spoon needs to be hot enough to keep on the skin without burning yourself. So test the heat before you press it down. Keep it on until the heat dissipates. Bite will stop itching almost immediately. Usually the bite mark completely disappeared within an hour. This only works with mosquitoes from my experience. This, just to emphasize though, check the heat. I made the mistake of making the spoon too hot and leaving it on a split second too long. Got a round scar in my arm now. Ever have a split butt knuckle? Some of us cold climate people know about it. Dry air plus tight clothing plus clothing layers equals a split in the skin at the tailbone. A split butt knuckle. The cure? Warm water bath with baking soda. Rinse. Pat dry. No rubbing. Dry with a hair dryer. Then apply a layer of Carmex. Cured overnight. If you've got a splinter below your skin surface, wrap a banana peel around it. Wet side against your skin. It will draw the splinter out most of the time. I don't know how, but it frickin' works. Banana voodoo. Banavadoo. Bamadoo. Inside of a banana peel against a bug bite, mosquitoes and ants, at least, can help relieve the itching and pain like magic. I, too, ascribe to the banana voodoo. I hesitantly submit squeegeeing yourself off before getting out of the shower. It's so simple I was dubious, but just use your hands to quickly wipe off excess water and bingo, you're not cold getting out. I do this every time. Also, it allows your towel to actually dry you off without becoming a wet rag. If you start to cough while eating or drinking, essentially the went down the wrong pipe, immediately lift both your arms up in the air and keep them held up for a few seconds. The act opens your airways and will allow you to catch your breath. Also helps food or drink travel downward. My mill taught us this and it's now second nature. If you get a splinter that is still partially sticking out of the skin, put a drop of Elmer's glue on it and let it dry. When you peel the dry glue off your finger, the splinter will be stuck on the glue and pop right off with it. If you have stains somewhere hard to bleach, like the top of a toilet bowl or a shower floor, put down paper towels first. It soaks up the bleach and keeps it in place while it does its job. This works like magic. Seriously. Note, wear gloves when you remove the paper towels. The first time I tried this on a shower floor, I ended up with chemical burns on all my fingertips. Similar to this, use bleach gel toilet cleaner to get rid of stains, mold on grout. Soak strips of paper towel in the gel. Press firmly against the grout and leave overnight. Saw this in a YouTube video. Tried it and it actually worked. No more blackened grout. Use a pop socket to hang jewelry on a flat wall bed frame. I use it to hang my necklace up every night. Sounds stupid, but it's right next to where I sleep, so if I forget to take it off I don't have to get up. And it hasn't tangled once since I started using it. Saves the hassle of untangling a tiny chain. Plus you can't get cool looking ones to match whatever, and depending on the quality, they could last years. Mine fell off my phone case so I stuck it to my bed frame over a year ago. I've had to remove it once. Still stuck there. Still does its job. I glued a strip of soft velcro to the end of my phone charger, and the corresponding strip onto the side of my nightstand, so it holds the end of my phone charger in easy reach. That way when I'm ready to sleep, I don't have to fumble around on the floor in the dark trying to find it. Also, buy a charger cord at least 6 feet long, it'll change your life. If you have a dishwasher, I'm sure you're familiar with the vague annoyance of pools of water being left on your dishes. After the cycle is done, grab a clean towel and hang it flat on the inside of the door and close gently. Don't slam it. It's okay to be open a crack still, and wait about 30 minutes. Your dishes will be completely dry. Edit. You should do this as close to the finish of the cycle as possible when it's still warm inside. Being extra nice to strangers when you need help will get you really far, oftentimes further than you expect. Customer service especially. Seriously, the secret to getting amazing customer service is to just use your manners. It's my job to help you out where I can, but if you're nice I'll probably move heaven and earth for you. Keep a small squeegee in the shower if you have glass walls or door. Squeegee before you get out after showering. No soap or water stains. Use a wet knife to chop onions. It reduces tears if you have sensitive eyes. It really works. I could barely make it through chopping half an onion without needing multiple breaks before I tried this. Saw it on Life Pro Tips. Just keep the faucet running and dip your knife under periodically while chopping. I still get a little reaction, but nowhere near as bad. Always carrying a $20 with you no matter where you go. So many times I've gone to get gas and find out my debit or credit card gets declined. Truly a lifesaver. I always keep spare money behind my phone case. Dawn dish soap is better for cleaning tubs than any bathroom cleaner. Consider that when you bathe you're mostly washing off body oil's dirt skin. Dawn is so effective at cleaning oil it's used to clean up after oil spills. You can use a small amount and it cleans pretty effortlessly with circles on a sponge. It's also an incredibly effective and inexpensive stain remover for clothing. More life advice than a life hack. But a dropped knife doesn't have a handle. If you ever drop a kitchen knife or other bladed instrument, just let it fall. Trying to catch it will almost certainly give you a nasty slice on the hand. Yeah, sound advice. I followed this advice once when I was a kid. Worked except for when the knife goes right through the top of your foot and sticks out the bottom. My mother fainted when I hobbled into the living room with a wobbling boning knife through my foot. Smell is closely associated with memory. If you're studying for an exam, buy an odd scented eraser, like pickle scent. Every time you try to memorize something, take a sniff. Take that eraser to the test and sniff it when you're having trouble remembering an answer. I've read this works with chewing gum as well. Chew the same flavor when studying and when writing your test. When you are on your phone and you messed up in the middle of the word, instead of tapping in the middle of the word, just hold your space bar and drag it. Dude, just change the way I live. Trouble swallowing pills? Squeeze your left thumb in your fist while you swallow. No idea why, but it suppresses the gag reflex. Inhaling also suppresses the gag reflex. Learned this from my friend who deep-throated a banana. When using the on-ramp to a freeway interstate, and the posted speed limit is 65, get up to 65 before actually merging into traffic. Slow merging buttholes cause the people coming up on you to slow down and change lanes, which increases the chances of accidents and traffic congestion. I am constantly surprised that so many people don't seem to know this. That's what the on-ramp is for. Whenever you accidentally set off your smoke alarm, give your pets a treat so they learn to come to you when there actually is a fire and you need to escape. I feel like you would need to set your fire alarm off with a concerning amount of frequency for this to be effective. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.